Good, everybody. Welcome to week 32 of the weekly weight loss Zooms. Now, tonight I'm going to talk about a very important topic, namely omega-3s, because it's such an important nutrient, and there's also a lot of disinformation on it people are not aware of. So I'm going to touch on that as well. But tomorrow we're going to talk specifically on supplement scan. Okay, but tonight, the support job is there to help you stay committed, help you motivated, give health nutrition tips, and also ask some questions if you've got questions that you want answering. Now, the question this week is, does omega-3 promote weight loss? Because we know omega-3 is great for many things. Okay, now I'm going to answer that as we go through tonight's slideshow. But the point still is, choose your food carefully to include a big variety of nutrients. Because so many nutrients do play a role in weight loss. Read the labels of the food that you buy. If you watch week 6 of my Zoom, weekly weight loss Zooms, it's specifically on read the labels. Now, how do you know you need omega-3? That you might have deficiency in your body. Some of the possible reasons could be cardiovascular issues. Okay, so if you get cardiovascular issues like blood pressure, okay, or stroke, or heart disease, all those things could be indication that you actually lack omega-3. Also stiffness, aching joints, arthritis, rheumatism, ADHD, mental disorders, poor memory. These are all linked to omega-3 deficiency. And there are more: depression, migraines, headaches, vision problems, asthma or breathing problems, skin rashes, irritations, prostate problems, blood sugar, insulin resistance, so diabetes is also important, and weight issues also linked to it. Now, we'll talk more about that as we go on. We need to eat oily fish at least twice a week, and this is where the problem starts. Because how many of you have eaten 2 portions of oily fish the past week? Suppose if I asked you, I don't know if there's any hand could go up, to say if you had 2 portions of oily fish last week. Now, to make up for this, people take supplements. And this is where the problem also starts. Okay? They hear that omega-3 supplements are great, it helps you alleviate deficiency issues, and they can help you with health problems. But let's first look at some issues here. Our bodies cannot make omega-3 oils. Just a little bit of information here. ALA is one of the omega-3 oils. There are 8 of them, by the way. ALA is one. ALA you get from plant sources. Your body can convert ALA about 10% effective into the other 7. So what this is tell us is that if you do not eat fish, if you don't eat fish, eventually you will run out of omega-3 fish oils in your body. Okay, your body will start to suffer from omega-3 deficiency. So we have to consume it. We have to consume oily fish. Now, there are many different omega-3 supplements on the market. Now, but is there a difference? Now, are they all good and safe? Because some of them are very cheap and some of them are very expensive. Now, why? I mean, there must be a reason for that. Now, let's look at this. Many common omega-3 fish oil supplements are rancid. Yes, they're rancid. The independent test found that many persons in the market use oxidized oils that are rancid, in other words, and they mask the rancidity by flavorings. So you've got an omega-3 fish oil that smells very, very fishy. You have to be concerned. More than 1 in 10 fish oil supplements tested from among 60 large retail brands are rancid, while nearly half are just under the voluntary recommended maximum limit, according to independent test. So, this is already, the voluntary level is also quite a dubious level. Some fish was recorded levels 11 times higher than recorded recommended levels. Acidity arises when the product becomes oxidized. In fish oil, a rancid example can involve a strong fishy taste and rotten smell. Now, it's particularly susceptible to oxidizing, which happens faster when exposed to heat, air, or light. So, manufacturing, therefore, of the fish oil, manufacturing, therefore, is also very important. If heat is involved in the process, you must be concerned. So, it must not be distillation, in other words. Studies have shown that high oxidized fish oil capsules can have a negative impact on cholesterol levels. Take note, we know that omega-3 helps actually to lower cholesterol, But rancid omega-3 fish oils can actually impact it negatively, meaning they go up. Okay, and we tested on animals, these rancid oils were shown to be toxic. Changes the chemical composition of highly oxidized oils to reduce the benefits. So we don't want rancid omega-3 fish oils. Trade data is limited, but what is available shows that vessels can pick up a cargo of crude fish oil. Take note of this now. They pick up the crude fish oil in Peru. They ship it to China for extraction and distillation. Distillation is heat, now the word was involved. From there, the oil moves to North America or Europe to be packaged. It's difficult to protect the product as it moves through the production process. Okay, so you don't know where it goes, you don't know who's in charge of it, you don't know what controls they've got. And the time spent in the open air or in hot conditions increases the likelihood of oxidation. So that's part of the problem. We don't know who these companies are exporting to. There are so many changes along the way, says Alfonso Danos, a researcher on the Changing Markets report. So the control over many of these omega-3 fish oil supplements is very dubious, if there are any control over it. Dr. Ben Albert, University of Auckland. The vast majority of omega-3 supplements sold in New Zealand are highly oxidized. We already said that's harmful, dangerous. Higher levels of omega-3 in the blood of obese people promote insulin function and reduce the risk of developing diabetes. So take note, if you've got good omega-3 in your blood, it promotes insulin function, therefore reduces the risk of developing diabetes. It's also very good for diabetics because it promotes insulin function. But take note, krill oil omega-3 has the opposite effect. Now, there's so many brands selling krill oil, and this is the latest fashion. My krill oil omega-3 is just tops. But it actually has the opposite effect. It may increase the risk of getting diabetes or heart disease. In rats, for pregnant rats fed oxidized omega-3 oils, almost 30% of baby rats died within 2 days. Whereas we know that proper omega-3 is actually good for pregnant women. And it's very good to promote healthy baby development. So we need omega-3 in pregnant women. Okay, they need it. But we need more study also on omega-3s. Now here's a little video just to help understand. Omega-3s and omega-3s and omega-3, there are differences. And this is going to show you one of them. So you want to buy an omega-3 and you think all omega-3s are the same? Well, let's see. I've got 2 different brands of omega-3 here. And I'm going to take a capsule of each. I'm going to pick it and squeeze it into the formula cup. Let's see. Here's the first one. I pick it and I squeeze it into the styrofoam cup. Squeeze it in the styrofoam cup. Okay. Now this one, first of all, is dark colored and it smells very fishy. Let me take the other omega-3 from the other bottle. We see this one. Okay. Slightly light in color. And here's my styrofoam cup. I will prick it and squeeze it into the styrofoam cup as well. This one. And then we're going to leave this for a while and see if there's a difference. Okay. So here I have 2 cups, each with omega-3 in. This one on this side, and this one on the other side. Now I have to wait a few minutes. Here you can see the 2 cups. We have to wait a while, and then we see if there's any difference. Let me show it inside. Well, here you can see the 1 cup, the contents in the cup. And here's the other cup a few minutes later. You can see the contents is more dry at the moment. But let's wait a few minutes more and see what happens. Here we are a few minutes later. You can already start seeing what's happening to this cup. Look closely. Okay, you can see there what's happening. But we'll wait a few minutes more.
this cup, you can see nothing still intact, nothing going on here. Let's wait a few minutes more and let me see again. Okay, let us see what has happened now with the styrofoam cups. This is the one, comes with a tin. Look what's happening here. It has started to dissolve the cup. The cup is broken. With the other cup, intact, nothing wrong with this cup. So there's clearly a difference between the different omega-3s. So an omega-3 is an omega-3? I don't think so.
Okay, let's go on. Now, the reason for the difference between the two, I'm not going to go into chemistry, although I know the chemistry, but the one that does not dissolve the cup is a triglyceride. A triglyceride. What it means, it has got a molecule like that, and it's got three other molecules attached to it to form a molecule like this. There are three fatty acids there, then it forms a triglyceride here on the side. There's a glycerol, and there are three fatty acids then joined to it. So these are the omega-3 fatty acids then. Whereas the one that does dissolve it looks like this. It contains omega-3 on the one side and the alcohol on the other side. That's an ethyl ester. The ethyl ester one is the one that goes rancid quicker. It's the one that dissolves the cup. It has to do with what we call intermolecular forces. So there's clearly a difference between omega-3s. You don't want to use one that goes rancid quicker. You don't want to buy an ethyl ester. You don't want to buy one that dissolves the styrofoam cup. It takes about 20 minutes, give and take, to show that. Okay, so the styrofoam cup helps us to distinguish between the two types of oils. So this doesn't imply that the fish oil that dissolves the styrofoam cup is toxic, but will burn or corrode your intestines necessarily. But we know from other research that a rancid omega-3 fish oil can be harmful. Now, some manufacturers process triglycerides to form ethyl esters. There are some significant differences, and therefore it's very useful to identify between the two. So triglyceride fish oils are metabolized differently and are better absorbed more efficiently than the ethyl esters. It's also important to note that ethyl esters oxidize relatively easily compared to triglycerides, and they're not as stable as triglycerides. Oxidation can cause the ethyl ester to break down and to form harmful substances. Now, the older the ethyl ester capsules get, the longer it was exposed to unfavorable conditions, the more the content will oxidize. So liquid ethyl esters degrade faster. They're characterized by a more intense fishy flavor that's making them unpalatable for consumers. So if you buy omega-3, you can do this styrofoam cup test, because you definitely do not want an ethyl ester. Now, you get different types of omegas. You get omega-3s, omega-6, omega-7, and omega-9. Very shortly, omega-7, omega-9, your body can make. Omega-3 is one of all the benefits we want. It's anti-inflammatory. Got so many other good things for us. You find it in your fish. You find it in some vegetables and plant sources as well. Your omega-6 is also important, but the problem is it increases inflammation. So you don't get too much of it. Okay? Because if you get too much of it, it's actually bad for you. Most vegetable oils, nuts, and grain-fed meats contain omega-6. So we must refrain from taking extra omega-6. We get way too much already in our food. Caution. If someone is a blood thinning medication, then adding omega-3 must be phased in slowly, because omega-3 thins the blood. As the omega-3 helps, the person may, under doctor's care, wean off the blood thinning medication. It may take months. Beware of omega-3 capsules that are manufactured using heat and the distillation, as heat can convert the oil into bad oils. And now, as most people get too much omega-6 in the diet, refrain from buying a fish oil that contains omega-6 as well. In actual fact, they say the average person in the Western diet gets about a ratio of 23 and 20 times more omega-3 than we're supposed to get. I'm sorry, omega-6. Okay? There's 3 to 20 times more omega-6 than we're supposed to get in the diet compared to omega-3. Now, people without a gallbladder This first test whether they can take omega-3 capsules because they might suffer discomfort if they take omega-3 because it contains oils. People with high blood pressure or cholesterol problems should initially caution against high amounts of omega-3 capsules. Start on low dosages and increase gradually. Consult with a health professional before using omega-3 supplements if you have health conditions related to cardiovascular system. Okay, so omega-3 is fantastic, but be cautious as well. Or start with very low dosages, like 1 every second day type thing. Okay? But if you don't have any serious health conditions or serious cardiovascular disease, you can start with 2 or 3 a day even. I already mentioned about the omega-6. We get way too much omega-6 in the diet already. And we know that a high intake of omega-6 can increase the risk of getting breast cancer and other cancers. It causes inflammation and other health issues. So avoid supplements that contain omega-6 unless it's specifically recommended by a qualified practitioner, somebody who knows what he's talking about. Why take an omega-3 and omega-6 together in a capsule? Why? Does it make sense? I mean, the omega-6 counters the omega-3 with respect to fighting inflammation. We've already got too much inflammation, we must get it down. Plant oils and processed foods tend to have high amounts of omega-6. So try and refrain from omega-6. Now, other things about omega-3 you need to know. There are 8 omega-3 fish oils. Now, there's a product called omega-3 salmon oil plus that can be helpful for the following: circulation and cardiovascular challenges, high or low blood pressure, for sore joints, low back pain, multi-cycle back pain, arthritis, healthy brain, ADD and hyperactivity, for migraines and headaches, memory retention, mental disorders such as dementia or Alzheimer's, depression, anxiety, eczema, psoriasis, and rashes. So there are a lot of things it can be helpful for. So more for allergies or inflammation, digestion issues like IBS, enlarged prostate, for better sleep, for healthier pregnancies, smarter and healthier babies, flexible and comfortable joints, healthy balance of inflammatory and anti-inflammatory forces, for kidney health, as well as for sugar levels and insulin resistance, and for weight issues. So we must ensure that we get enough omega-3 in our diet if we want to be healthy. If your body's healthy, we're less likely also to overeat. Okay? So when buying omega-3 supplement, ask yourself the following questions. Is it made from cold water fish, not krill? Is it crustacean? Okay, crustacean is a shellfish, like lobsters and crabs and stuff like that. Okay? Does a label state the kind of fish? Or is it just a vague statement like marine lipid concentration or Norwegian fish oil? Don't they tell you where it comes from? Can you trust them, in other words? Some sources contain high levels of vitamin D even. Now, if you take another vitamin D supplement and you get this in, you might get too much vitamin D in, perhaps. Could happen. Is the oil cold extracted or the fish pressed, in other words? If they're still heated, then there is a great possibility that it contains bad fats. Then, is it tested for at least 200 plus toxins, pesticides, herbicides, dioxins, so on? Now, many omega-3 supplements contain mercury and lead because a lot of fish, even the deep sea, are contaminated with mercury and lead thanks to pollution. Another question, is it free of heavy metals like the mercury and lead? Is it made from only the flesh of the fish, not the guts? Because the liver of the fish is where you find most of the toxins. So you don't want to squash the whole fish. Okay, you only want like the fillet of the fish, flesh. Other points. Does it dissolve the styrofoam cup or not within 20 minutes? Does the capsule contain all omega-3 oils? Most will only have 2 or 3 oils. Are the oils specifically listed with a vague statement only? And there also is an expiry date on the label. That's important. Like we said, these are oils. If they come from food, they can go rancid. Then has the product been tested on humans? What research has been done on it? Because many people put products on the market without testing them. And if it's tested, does it just indicate that it actually gets absorbed? Does it improve the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio? Does it reduce inflammation response? And does it lower your triglyceride issues? So there are a couple of things to look for. Now, the demand for omega-3 supplements sees huge increase in overfishing of sharks. Now, take note, pirate fishermen take advantage of laws allowing shark oil extracted from species caught outside the EU to be sold here. So you may be actually buying a low-quality omega-3 supplement made from shark oil. I mean, sharks are scavengers. They eat anything they can find. So I don't know what he's going to find in all those omega-3s. Not a good idea. Now, here's a good example of a quality one. Contains all 8 omega-3s, been tested and researched. The 8 omega-3s works synergistically together. You can compare. Take 2 bottles in the shop, compare them. Ingredients, does the one say what it got fishes in there, or just vague statements? Okay. Now the omega-3 salmon plus says salmon, tuna, sardines, and anchovies. That's where they get the omega-3 from. Not just a vague statement like from a fish source. How many omega-3 family members are itemized? Most competitors have less than 4. This one's got all 8. Are the concentrations specifically listed? Are they labeled how much? Or just a vague statement? No. The omega-3 salmon plus standardized amounts, guaranteed each capsule. So more reasons why I recommend omega-3 salmon oil plus. That's the one I use as well. It is tested for contaminants, yes, for 200 potential contaminants, and none must be found, not a single one. Okay. Are they checked for herbicides and pesticides? Yes, and none must be found. Is it cold pressed? Yes, it is. No statement like a low heat manufacturing something, it's cold pressed. So these are all questions we must ask when you buy an omega-3 supplement. Here's some more questions you will answer. Is there any proof that the product does what the omega-3 fats are supposed to do? In other words, was the research done? Was it tested on humans? And were the results published in peer-reviewed journals? So other scientists can cross-check your research. Okay. Now, the omega-3 salmon plus, take note here. It improves ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 in the body by 43% in just 8 weeks. It reduces inflammatory index by 68% in just 8 weeks. It lowers triglycerides, blood fats by 70% in just 8 weeks. And these have been published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition Annals of the New York Academy of Sciences. Okay? Where most others don't have this research. These are also accountability labels. If they're on there, it also tells you that a third party has tested the product. See if you find some of this on the product that you want to buy. There's not a 100% guarantee, but I know this one, the SAB one, that one is made under scientifically pharmaceutical license. So it must be 99% plus accurate, otherwise they're trouble. The others you might find even as little as 80% accurate. But that's still better than only 5 or 10%, which is most products. Now, the question now, research results on omega-3 and weight loss. What does the research tell us? Now, it depends on who you ask. Now, I suppose a lot depends on which omega-3 they've used as well. Because you already see now there is omega-3 and omega-3 and another omega-3. I mean, krill oil, shark oil, plant oils, fish oils, and even fish oils, different types of fish. But there are studies that do show that omega-3 can help increase metabolism. It's been observed in healthy young adults and healthy older women. It suggests omega-3 may increase calories burned during exercise, taken while on an exercise regimen on effective weight loss strategy. It encourages fat loss and muscle building. Omega-3's weight loss benefits can be attributed to insulin suppression. Remember there's a talk I did, the insulin trap. I think it was week 3 or 4. We spoke about that. And all this can lead to weight loss. So the question must be asked, those research studies that didn't show a link, what omega-3 did they use? What's the quality of the omega-3 they used? Was it synthetic? Or was it one of the lower quality fish oils? How much omega-3 must you use per day? That will vary from country to country exactly what they recommend. But you need 255 milligrams of omega-3 per day. That would be about a deal. But it all depends. If you've got other conditions like heart disease, you might need more. Depression, pregnancy, so you might need more. Okay. So remember, when it comes to weight loss, progress is made by inches, not miles. So it's much harder to track and a lot easier to give up because you might lose it very slowly. Now, I did complete this today because I'm only 1 year, but as you can see, I'm getting close to my target of 82. I think when I'm getting to 82 kilograms, I'm going to stop the weekly Zoom because I've reached my target, unless our volunteers will join me on the table to make it worth my while, to challenge me or something. A summary. To lose weight, you don't only have to change what you eat, you must adopt a healthy lifestyle. Okay? Watch week 19 and 20. Eat more oily fish. Choose your food wisely. Avoid toxins. Watch week 9. Avoid artificial sweetness, preservatives, and other foods. I did talk specifically artificial sweetness as well. Choose good quality omega-3 supplements. Read the labels. Watch week 6. Avoid anything in the tin, packet, pre-cooked box as far as possible. And if you're like me, don't eat healthy, then use a whole food supplement like the ones that I use, which is the New Life Shake and the Pro Vitality, because it gives me 56 out of 59 nutrient families. It doesn't give you herbs, because I don't think I want female herbs. Now, in 2 weeks, you'll feel it. That's if you go on a weight loss program and you really go for it. In 4 weeks, you'll see it. In 8 weeks, you hear it. And you get compliments as well. But are you willing to go in and keep to it? Join us on the weight loss support group on Facebook and WhatsApp. We share information and questions. Go on my YouTube channel. You can find this YouTube channel there. On there, you can find all the recordings of the previous 31 Zooms as well, and all the different topics we have discussed. So if you want to lose weight, it might be time for you to change your buying habits. For more information, you can contact me. There's my email address, herman@vibrantlifestyle.co.za, or watch the videos on my YouTube channel. There's a disclaimer. This whole talk is from a primary healthcare perspective. I'm not a medical doctor, so this is not a medical prescription. These are not cures. These are just suggestions to live a healthy life. Well, thank you for watching. Are there any questions, perhaps?
Thank you very much. It was lovely. I really, really enjoyed it.
There's so much
and learned a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but there's so much I could have still shared, but I mean, it would be way too long. The important thing is there are so many things in the market, and we scammed into buying stuff and thinking they're helping us. It's so sad. Like I said, tomorrow night, that talk, I'm going to talk about that in more detail. Okay. No other questions? Well, I guess I must get off because I think Bob will need this link for another Zoom in a few minutes as well. Okay, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Herman.
Keep well, everybody.
Bye-bye, Herman. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye.